This is the all-new Community Connection. I'm your host, Jade Harrell, keeping you connected to our community. Well, the Royal Vagabonds Foundation will be sponsoring a jazz concert at the Sheldon Concert Hall on October 30th to benefit its scholarship program. The concert will feature great female vocalist Clare Bathe, who is originally from St. Louis and will be returning home for this one-evening performance, and premier pianist Ptah Williams. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy you're coming home. So this is...
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, how long have you been gone?
Oh, my. I left in 77, and I came home and left again permanently in 78.
You say permanently, but we got you back for a minute. Who chased you away? No.
You know, I was doing some work around town. I was out in Six Flags over in Mid-America, out in Eureka, and I enjoyed working there. I worked with a band and did some corporate stuff, but it just wasn't enough. I've always wanted to be in theater.
Yeah.
I've always loved it.
Yeah.
So I just, and the best place to do that. I did some here in St. Louis, but the best place to do that, of course, is New York.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you found your way and staked your claim in New York. Tell us about what you've been doing since you've been gone.
Well, I met up with a group called Chic. And I was hired immediately and recorded the first album with them. And as quickly as they hired me, they fired me.
Oh, wow.
And then I met up with a group called Machine, and we had a huge rock disco record called There But For the Grace of God Go I. And it's a big I think they call it house music or cult. It's a big cult classic now, that they play it all the time. And then I left there and went to work with just a legend, a classic gentleman named Lionel Hampton.
Yeah.
Mr. Hampton was just a consummate musician and the nicest person. I learned an awful lot from him. He taught me how to scat, and just enjoyed working with him. I had the privilege of having he and Count Basie fight over me because Lionel had introduced me to Basie as his vocalist, and Basie had a gig coming up, and his girl was not available, and he wanted to use me, and Ham said no, and it was cute. It was fun. It wasn't, there was nothing serious, but I like to tell the story.
That's right.
And then I got a big break. My first Broadway show was with Lena Horne, the Lady and Her Music. And I just thought that I would go from there to the starring role, and I wanted to be Don't Cry For Me, Argentina. What is that?
Yes.
Yeah, just all kinds. I just had visions of grandeur, and I thought, okay, I've arrived on Broadway and got my first show, and I'm going to be working. I did do a lot of other Broadway plays, but and I'm happy with it. Sure. I've also traveled the world with my one-woman cabaret act.
Oh, how exciting!
Yeah, it's a fun show. I have done something a bit different for the Vagabonds, but it's just what I do. It's not. I just don't come out and just stand and sing. It's
That's
just
right.
what I do. Yeah, it's how I do it. It's cabaret, and fortunately, I get a fabulous response from my kind of show.
But of course, if you're pouring your full self into it, what actually has been your favorite thing to do?
Probably my cabaret show. I love it. It's me from the beginning to the end. I get to tell true stories, true events that occurred in my life, and I accompany those events with songs that people know. And once in a while I'll throw in some original stuff of my own.
So you're right.
I love it. I usually have a very intimate audience, and I get to interact with them. Lena Horne used to say, when she was on stage, she'd say that her belly was a wearing blender. And she would churn up energy and throw it out to the audience. They would catch it, churn it up, and throw it back to her. So she said, we have this big energy love affair going all night.
Oh, wow.
And I understand it. I just get it, and when I'm working with my audience, it's just me and them, and we just have a love affair on till the show's over.
Right. And that's what probably makes it the most enjoyable for you, is because then you have that connection. Yes, you give, you pour out, you write, you perform, you serve. But to get a little bit about that, a little bit back, has to feel even better.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Well, we are super fortunate for you to be coming back for the Royal Vagabonds. Tell me what interested you in this project.
Well, Barry is a good friend of mine from high school. So, and we're friends, and so it's always wonderful to do things for your friends, but it's a scholarship program. And you know how it is when you give back to your community, you give back to, the planet, you give back to people. You got to participate in that. And so, of course, I'm going to participate. I'm going to do what I need to do to participate so that they can raise the money. I'm not charging them an arm or a leg or anything. I just want to be able to present for them something that people will come and also give so that they can give back to the community. That's an awesome thing right there.
That's right. And giving back sometimes is not directly just, dollar per incident. It really is being able to, one, expose the young people to a world beyond what they may know, but then bringing what you've experienced from all these various places and encounters, bringing that back home to the folks here in St. Louis. So it's a win-win all the way around.
Yeah, I think you're right. There are many times I'll do shows in different parts of the country, and I'm always happy to hear that people say, I've never seen a show quite like that. So it's nice to be able to tap into all of the experiences that I've garnered from all over the world, and then to come home and share with my family. St. Louis is home. That's my family.
That's right. So where'd you go to high school?
Soul Dance Tigers, yay!
I love it. Will they get a chance to get a visit from you at the school, maybe?
I probably won't be able to visit the school, but Barry and I are in conversations now. We're sending emails back and forth. We're having some of the students come to the show. Yeah,
that would be really great. That would be really great. All right, well then let's talk about what we're in store for when you join us on October 30th. What you got cooking for us?
It's a Clare Bathe experience. That's what my manager and I call it. It's an experience. I create a journey, and I've always been blessed to be able to bring my audience in and take them on the journey with me. And on the journey, they get to experience whatever special thing I've created for them that evening, which usually depends on the city, it depends on my crowd, it depends on a lot of factors. And I draw from all of that and create a show tailor-made for them. So on the 30th, we will, you guys are going to take a journey with me to New York to find out exactly what it was like when I left St. Louis, some of the hardships, a lot of the joys, some of the scary times. There were times when I had to when I would go home, I stayed with a girlfriend also from Soul Dance. She's my sister's friend, and she lived on the east side of the FDR Drive. The only way to access the plaza was to either go over the FDR via pedestrian walkway, or which was gated and locked every night at 12 o'clock. And if you know anything about New York, 12 o'clock could be 11:45. But at 12 o'clock a.m., the gates were locked. And then if you missed that opportunity, then you had to go underneath a pedestrian tunnel underneath the FDR Drive, and you came up on the other side in the parking lot. There were 3 towers of apartment buildings, 36 stories high, each building, and the parking garage was massive for all of those apartments. So you came in on a lower level, you had to work your way up. I'll tell you something, Jay, just being able to draw upon my religious experience growing up in St. Louis, it was, I needed it when I lived in Manhattan in the very, very early days. You know, there were times when I would walk 50 blocks just to save 50 cents.
Okay. Come on now.
So,
wow.
So you guys get
no
to come
idea.
along.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You guys
have
get
no
to come
idea
along.
what that journey entailed. Have no idea what it entailed. No idea what it takes to show up sometimes.
That's right.
We don't know.
That's
when we
right.
see the polished, dynamic singer, we don't realize what really went behind what happens before you get to the mic.
You're absolutely right, Jane.
That's powerful.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
That's powerful. Yeah.
So it's not always the best, the most talented, but it certainly is the one who has the courage, the guts to get out there and try. Yeah.
Talk about your courage, your resiliency. Let's get personal.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a St. Louis woman.
Right.
Lionel Hampton told me once he and Mr. Basie we were sitting down having cocktails one evening, and they were telling me how it was a coup de grace if you had a woman from St. Louis, Missouri. Now, I did not realize it. I know. And he said, he used to call me Gady. He said, no, Gady. They wrote that song, St. Louis Woman, for a reason.
Oh.
He said they wrote, You've Come a Long Way from St. Louis. They wrote that for a reason. The St. Louis Woman, she had everything that a man wanted, everything that was needed to have a fantastic, solid relationship. And so they went on to extol the values of a St. Louis woman. So I'm a St. Louis woman, born and raised.
That's
you know, and I have the energy, I have the savvy, the street smarts. So in the industry, a lot of people think, a lot of times when you say what's going on in the industry, in a lot of people's minds, the casting couch is the first thing that comes to their mind. And I have to be, I'm blessed that I didn't experience a lot of that. Yeah. And I chalk it up to my St. Louis savvy. There's some things you just don't stand for.
Okay.
And
yeah.
Coming out of Prince of Peace Church and Sunny Mount and Bethesda Temple, we didn't play that.
Okay.
So when I got there, but there were, I'll give you an example. I was singing background with about 3 guys and another woman and myself. So the woman shows up, and she shows up in taffeta and tulle. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, and she's in taffeta and tulle and sparkly and shining and made up like a little Cupid doll and sings flat as a pancake. I come to work to sing at the recording studio, and I've, got on some jeans and high-heel shoes and a nice shirt, and, I look great, but I don't look like I just left the club the night before. But she knew what those guys were looking for. She knew what they wanted. I may have been St. Louis savvy, but she was New York hip.
Okay.
And so when they called one of the 2 of us back the next day for the job, they called her back because, she had, chest hanging out. And so, you have to compete with that sometimes. But there are many of us who fall by the wayside and give in. And then there are many of us who just stand our ground and say, I'm going to work and make it on my talent. And I can actually tell you and everybody else, that's exactly what I did.
Yes.
I made it on my talent.
Yes. And that's the message.
And my courage.
There you go. Right. You most definitely needed that. And God's grace carried you through. And that's the message we want to give to the scholarship recipients and to create an opportunity for them to actually utilize, stand, discover, and explore their talents. And because of you, we get to do that. I just absolutely love that you're coming to do so. So let's send out the invitation for the concert, the jazz concert that you are headlining.
I am happy and honored to be coming home to perform at the Sheldon, which is known as the Carnegie Hall of the Midwest. It's over 100 years old, and the acoustics built back then, they don't make them like that anymore. But that's the moniker for the Sheldon. It's an honor to be able to come home. The show is at 6 o'clock on October 30th. That's a Sunday evening. Ptah Williams will be playing, and his trio will be playing music for me. And what else have I forgotten? Well, of course, it's for the Vagabond, and it's for their scholarship program.
Mm-hmm.
Come on out and spend some time with me. Come on out and let me take you on a little journey.
I love
Come on and go on a trip with me.
Give us a little sample of what we'll hear, sweetheart.
Oh, great.
You know I was going to get some.
No complaints and no regrets. I still believe in chasing dreams and placing bets. And I have learned when all you give is all you get. You give it all you got. That's a beautiful little ballad by, that isn't written by Shirley Horne, but she covered it and made it popular. And then it's a wonderful night for a moon dance.
Oh, yeah,
with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make romance beneath the cover of October skies. And so on and so on.
Oh, and so on and so forth. Oh, you got my tongue twisted. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Were there any lessons you drew from some of the greats that you got to work with that stick with you today?
You know, Lena Horne, I used to come into work. I always got there early so that I could go into her dressing room, not sit on the floor at her feet, and while she's putting on her makeup, and we'd, just talk about different things. She embraced me, and she talked to me a little bit about longevity in the business, about taking care of myself, taking care of my health. And she always said, be a lady. Of course, Mr. Hampton used to always encourage me to be the best that I could be. He always said, Katie, when I leave, I want to be known as a gentleman. He says, and when you leave, they will know you as a lady. So that kind of resonated, several times. And even conversations, and I remember a conversation that I had with Sarah Vaughn once, and we were sitting and talking. I was always like a kid in the candy store, with these people.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. But pretty much the conversations were always the same. Be a lady, be graceful, be grateful, and take care of your health.
Yeah. Well, I have enjoyed this wonderful conversation with you today, and thank you for making time and sharing your beautiful voice and experience with us. Clare Bathe, who is with us.
Well, Jane, thank you so much. And I hope I get a chance to see you Sunday night, October 30th at 6 o'clock at the Carnegie Hall of the Midwest, the Sheldon.
That's right. All right, that's it for this week. If you have questions or comments or have something you'd like to include in the community calendar, you can leave a message on our message box at 314-333-8369, 314-333-8369. And for more information about our show or any of our guests, you can visit us online and listen to the podcasts at Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com. And search Community Connection with Jade Harrell. You all be blessed, do blessed, and take care.